Hi, hello, welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I am Mr. C of Iroko Critic, and how are you doing today? Today we spoke longer than last week. I'm sorry. I was trying to keep things tight, but a lot of people had a lot of things to say. There's not too much. I did have to tamper with some of the audio here because some parts were really low. From the space, but hopefully it is fine on your end. But yeah, not too much. This I don't think this needs too much preamble. I hope you guys enjoyed Nollywood Film Club discussing the order of things.
All right. Hi, guys. Welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We do talk about movies every Sunday. Today, we are doing The Order of Things, a Dr. Sid production. The Dr. Sid's heavily inspired. I just finished doing Nollywood Data. Dr. Sid did a lot to get this movie out. Part of the writers, part of obviously he directed it, produced, executive produced, soundtrack, um, script developer, also animator, which was surprising. Soundtrack, obviously. Yeah, the guy really was. He really put a lot into this. Clearly, but we're here to talk about the film, and not how much effort people put in. All right, so we'll do the good. We'll do all the things we liked, and then we'll do things we didn't like, and then we'll see if there's pushback, and then we'll do a summary. All right, let's start with some of the things you guys liked. Vanessa.
Hi, Dr. Seed, Moit in the house. Can you hear me? Um, I'm sorry. The minute I heard all the witchy, no please stop our love, I was like, hey, see me. I'm sorry. Those were the best. I'm a huge nostalgia person. Like if you can hook me in with nostalgia really, really easily. So the minute that I was like, yes, and I'm like, it's no hits. It's Dr. Sid. And then I heard the music and I was like, yes. And then I was like, wait, no, are we playing this music in the 2023? Slay, but also, and then I realized, oh wait, it's in the past. So that works. It was like a 2006-ish, 2003-ish time, and they're playing Witchy, and it just made sense. So that's my number one good. The nostalgia of Witchy. What else did I like? I guess I kind of sort of liked how um Dami and Temilade. I shall know it's a thing. It's Temilade, Abi Demilade na Imidi. Well, one of the be like say it's Demilade. Demilade and Kiloruko Timini character. What's his own name? Dapo Abi Dami. Do I
Tunde.
eh?
I see.
Tunde.
I see you have taken painstaking notes to make sure you got the names
I
right.
didn't
I
take
like
any
it.
notes.
Go
Now
ahead.
you guys. One of the two. I shall know that the brother is Demilade. That is what me Aisha.
Tunde.
No, the nerd. What's the name of the nerd?
The
It's
girl is
Demilade now.
Demilade. The girl, I
Oh,
thought the girl
I
is
thought you
Demi.
were asking for
Half the
Timini's
girl
I've
is
name.
forgotten all
Demilade.
about him in his name. Nobody really cares about him. But
Yeah, nobody
Oh,
cares about him.
Tayo.
but
Tayo.
but
Tayo is the girl's name.
Demilade, I guess I liked how both their characters were immediately established. At least what these characters were supposed to be. One's supposed to be the not so social, withdrawn to himself, I guess, gamer guy with his Game Boy, um, whatever. So I guess I appreciated that establishment. And also the establishing bit of Timini's character having his whole life planned out. And that conversation was enough, in the beginning with him saying he wants to, we buy his house by 25, marry by 30, we go to go sha. I guess I also liked the initial establishing of Demilade's trauma, I guess, with the opposite sex. I'm saying all of this to say, the beginning, that opening scene, set the ground for what this film was supposed to be. So that's my second good. They managed to establish these characters. My third good and third thing that I liked, just at the tip of my tongue, is gone now. Good. Oh yes, their mommy, the woman, the auntie. I forgot her name. Hey, the actress that played their mommy, I do like her. She's probably one of my favorite performances in the entire film. Especially because Nollywood is notorious for mothers asking for their sons to be married, whether or not there's an order of things. Which I'm mother that is usually asking for son to get married. And it can be a little cliche when these mothers are portrayed in Nollywood, but I quite liked this portrayal. There was no shoutiness, not really, except for when she was shouting at Demilade to never walk into the parlor/kitchen with his dirty boxers and singlets. However, apart from that, her performance seemed pretty measured, and I liked it. I really liked it. Who else? What else? I guess mo like gbogbo soundtrack as a whole nítorí pé Dr. Sid. Dija is the reunion of all the former Don Jazzy artists. Again, nostalgia do hook me. I was quite pleased to see Dija. She's a fine girl. She fine past like 30 people. Just Omar Rebecca start. She just appeared on the screen and wow, what a beauty. Speaking of beauty, talk about Olowoniya, gorgeous. According to what's the people that do this song, have you seen the state of her body? Beautiful for no reason. I guess it was also nice to see Sandra Okonzua. I don't know. Again, I can say about Sandra, but it was so nice to see her. What again do I like? Liking in the film. Wow. Okay. Oh yes, I remember now. I guess I kind of sort of like the premise. And I'm saying this because I said 2023, I'm not doing with all the intentions, because that's not what this is. On a very surface level, I understand the premise. Not necessarily because of any magnificent execution, but because Motigbori, I've heard it before. I don't know if I've heard it among Yoruba people, pay senior brother or senior sister, elderly one, she must get married before the younger one, but I've heard it in general, where some people in their place, they used to say, if the older person have not married, the younger person cannot marry. So Motigbori, so on that level, it's plausible. And I guess all things being equal, if executed right, it could have led to a great rom-com.
Right.
Speaking of com, no, hold on. Speaking of com,
Jesus, please, I said the full thing. I beg. This is PG. This is PG space.
I'm so glad that you're like Jesus said this. You see, but that they know that you have a dirty mind. Because I said rom-com just 2 seconds ago. So Monique quickly speaking of the comedy. Hey, Latif Adedimeji. That is another performance I like. Not necessarily because it was magnificently funny, but he's a good comedic actor. A good actor in general, which is where I think I'm going with this, right? I realized that even people who are supposedly comedians for a living are not good comedic actors. And that's mainly because they're not good actors, point blank, period. When you're a good actor, then delivering the lines is what then makes for comedy. So I guess that's what Latif Adedimeji has over a lot of these comedians who have snuck and finagled their way into the industry. But it's just that Adedimeji do act. Yes, Adedimeji Latif. final good speaking on the comedy. That's it. So, try on you. I really tried. It took a lot out of me, but I tried.
Well done. I don't know. We need to touch that your mic. Your mic keeps on going inside and out.
Sorry, I was on the road, so I have my AirPods in. I'm taking them out now.
Oh, okay. It's AirPods I used to do that in. Okay.
I was walking down the street. That's why.
All right.
Yeah.
Street. That's all right. Okay.
Wow. Look who is saying things.
Did you say you're walking down the street? Wow. I don't understand. Where's your mind gone? I don't know anything. Anyway, Fi, please go ahead. Tell us some of the things you liked about the other things.
Hola. Okay. So these are things that I liked. I liked that the first half of the movie was easy to follow. I liked that Tibini's character was unlike other characters he's played, so therefore he was a bit more likable. I liked the animation in the beginning and the theme around gaming. Thank you so much.
Wow!
Not by being shorter than me.
Finally, go Otto. Jesus.
I'm just saying.
Jesus. Okay. Thanks, Fly. Taz, I think you're up next.
How can I possibly be shorter than that, Fi? You have broken my record.
My goodness.
I was very glad that the mom wasn't played by Tinamba. No shade to Tina. Well, shade to her. I do enjoy Tina, but this mom, I guess, was a lot more measured than all the moms that have existed recently. I agree that Timini's character in this one was actually likable. Oh, I really liked the girl that played Tayo. She was just so sweet and so cute and just so bubbly the entire movie. She was such a delight to have on screen. And then Timini's fiance's ass. But yeah, that's it. Some nice dresses too. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Thanks, Taz. I've lost track of people. I'm just gonna have to start doing this random. I think Cynthia was in the fray. Cynthia, please tell us some of the things you liked.
Okay. So I actually like Damilade's Afro natural hair. The guy in 2011, when he appeared on my screen, I was like, God, if I have this hair, I'll be stressing myself. Then I also liked when I first saw Dija as Raven, like just the black gown, the makeup. I didn't like her when she started talking or when she opened her mouth, but I was really, really happy when I just saw her on the black gown and the makeup. For me, I felt the movie was really boring until Tayo's character. What? Oh, I think I was tested. Okay, yeah. We are in the good. Yes, I'm still in the good. Sorry, I'm still in the good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm in the good. No, for me, I'm in the good. The movie was really boring until Tayo's character appeared for me. Even though sometimes she was reading her lines, but I kind of know that it kind of feels like she knew why she was there. And I was a bit convinced that she was an introvert. I don't know, her character made me to stop sleeping because I slept like 3 times in less than 30 minutes. And it also drew me interested in Demi's character. So yeah, I kind of liked when I saw Tayo. Not like she gave the best performance. Sorry, or Sandra that played Tayo. Not like she gave the best performance, but it's really like took the sleep away from me and it made me like more interested in what's going to happen. I also felt that Tayo and Demi were comfortable to some level, not like they had good chemistry, but they were comfortable to some level. Then finally, I think I like the intention with the pre-epilogue and the epilogue. So with the order of things, or I saw the intention and I was like, okay, it would have played out better, but it's still good. I can see where you guys are going. So with the way the whole order of things, the elder brother have to marry first. When the mom called and I was like, And she was like, Demi, you have to give me the first child. I was like, okay, I can see the intention here. Also with the whole guy from the spiritual realm, with the whole immortality and everything with Lillian's character, I was like, okay, I can see the reason why this is the epilogue. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right, thanks, Cynthia. Ainka, do you want to go next? Ainka, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning, everybody. It's not morning. It's I don't know.
Hey,
Good day,
whenever you have
everybody.
wakes up,
What?
I was saying,
What?
whenever a person wakes up is their morning.
Oh, okay. If you wake up at 12 p.m., it's not morning.
Yeah.
But sorry. Thank you for being kind. But thank you for being kind. I didn't just wake up, by the way. I'm so sorry. The good things about this movie, I think what's her name? The person who played Taya was cute, and I think she was very pretty. I kind of like the sort of meet cutie, the thing at the bar. That was nice. That was super nice. What else did I like? I liked the fact that the movie was more focused on like the relationship with the brothers. I kind of also like that not everybody was bad here, and it was just like a nice, simple, romantic something. And it wasn't like I don't know. What's the name of that movie made by Omoni Oboli? About like if you slept with a woman, you can still get that woman. You can still see that woman. You still have the right to sleep with that woman again.
So Okafor's Law.
Yes, Okafor's Law. So Okafor's Law is focused on a man through the romance, and something centers on the man, and it is very, very misogynistic. Funnily, it's written by a woman and it's also directed by a woman, but it is very misogynistic in the essence that women there are things for pleasure. They're not their own something. The guy doesn't completely learn, really, but this one, it doesn't have that. Like the female characters, it does kind of, but the male character is not necessarily going just for sex or something like that. It is more concerned. It's written kind of like what they normally will write in rom-com for women, where it's more of concerned about soul connection and all that stuff. And I kind of like that it went against that grain and that was written there. It was as a romance as a rom-com, like some of the comedy doesn't fall well, but it was okay. It was like very relatively, I wasn't annoyed. It wasn't stupid. It followed normal conventions. It's kind of like a pretty well made, good all-Mac movie. And that's kind of what I would say. So I liked it. It wasn't bad. Some of the comedy didn't land. Latif was funny. I like the relationship between the brothers. I even also like the relationship between the brother and his wife and his fiance. It wasn't bad. And the ending wasn't like the ending scene was not a bad scene. It was quite when they propose. I don't know why it went after. I don't know why it continued after that, and I don't understand the vampire, the man that is a vampire that is going after the girl that used after Maria, and I don't get that scene. That was unnecessary. But many moments of actual simple enjoyment here. Not bad.
All right.
I mean, there were many missed moments, but it wasn't bad. It was like okay.
Okay. Thanks, Ainka. All right. Let me just read some of the comments that have come through. If you don't want to speak, you can comment underneath or use the hashtag Nollywood Film Club. Zainab says Dr. Sid very clearly made sure we knew it was his production. I mean, Jesus, did you After all the things he puts in, of course. Adeyemi says the other things Dr. Sid did fairly for a director debut, but it had Hollywood smelling all over it. All right, okay, I'm looking for likes. Positives, guys. We're in the positives. Adeyemi, all right. Likes and dislikes are not here. I'll just read the likes. The other things, my likes include Ayo Mogaji's character, cinematography, production design, and locations. Okay, thanks, Adeyemi. Zainab says, likes the set design of their house. It seemed very relatable. It was under 2 hours, which is rare to find these days. Amen. Amen. The plot was simplistic and predictable, but in a way that made it an easy watch, I guess. Wow. Feels like people are still cooking with the good, but it is what it is, I guess. All right. Back to the Qui. I think to me, do you want to tell us?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. The other things, the first good thing, I'll not say like good, but like the one thing that I enjoyed was seeing Ayomagoji playing that mother, because it felt like I was seeing my own mother on screen. It was very relatable, very warming. It was a very good performance, and I really enjoyed it. And she was my favorite part of the film. And yeah, so I'll start with the other things I liked. One of the things that I liked about the film was that the product placement in the film was kind of done well. I kind of get it that, yeah, the product placement was, kind of a bit too much, but I like the way they were able to infuse the orange juice thingy into Demi's character. We hear how his mother complains about his obsession with orange juice and the diabetes and the whole jetty thingy. But I mean, yeah, the orange juice thingy also kind of makes sense because he is a game developer. Not like I'm saying he is a game developer, he stays at home all day. And so like the way they, they didn't just like show us a whole bunch of Five Alives just for nothing. Like the Five Alives were there for a reason. Like how Tayo was when she came for dinner and she brought a pack of juice, so the Five Alive, the product placements, they were there for a reason. It wasn't just, yeah. I also like the character development in the film. I like Dame Lade's character development. Funny enough, at the beginning of the film, I don't want to say I was disgusted by it, but I was really cringing and finding it very difficult to watch like the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie. But as I got into it, it was very, I was like, okay, this guy's not so bad. He is someone that I can see myself rooting for in this film. And at the end of the film, I was actually smiling that I was actually happy that he ended up. I mean, yeah, I kind of get it that we all knew how the film was going to end, but it was still like an enjoyable and interesting story to follow. Another thing is the film, I feel it was well written and set up in ways that are much better than what we've seen in a lot of other Nollywood productions. It wasn't hilariously funny, but there were like one or two moments where like you could let out a chuckle and be like, "Mhm, yeah, that was funny." Another thing was I liked the way they used the BBN characters in this. They weren't, I mean, they just had one thing to do to show, which was to show how, as Demilade was moving through different, let's say, types of girls, I guess, looking for his wife. So, like, again, they had their own purpose in the film. They were not there to, like, take, let's say, majority of the lines from the actors. And yeah. Another thing is, while the premise of the film might be a little bit too Hollywood and too cliche, I kind of like the way they kind of, will I say, infused some Nigerian elements into it by making the mother be like, okay, yes, there is an order of things. Like Vanessa said, I have personally never heard of anybody saying that type of thing. But again, I don't think it's very unheard of in a Nigerian society, because I do believe that there are some families or some communities who do have these, who do hold on to like very traditional beliefs like this, such as like the whole order of thing. Another thing is, like I said, I was smiling at the end of the film because it was a very cheesy film. Yeah, it was cringe, it was cliche, but it was cheesy in a fun and appealing way. The film also had an antagonist, and it had the very basic elements of a story, because at the end of the film, I wasn't asking myself a bunch of questions like how or why or who or when. Everything was clearly explained. It was very easy to follow. Very simple film, did not stress themselves. Dr. Sid was like, okay, this is what I want to do, and he did it. Even if you might say, like, oh, there were some things that they probably did for spectacle, I don't think it was like, it didn't, I'm not to say it, but like, the story was still well told at the end of the day. It's not like they went to focus on other things and they just forgot about the story that they wanted to tell. The film had a story at the beginning, and that was what you watched till the end. It's not like some of these other very disastrous films that we have seen where they start a movie and in the middle, it's like the plot just changed all of a sudden. But yeah, anyway, we didn't have any of that in this film. So that's, you know. And like I said about the putting the Nigerian element into the whole Hollywood cliche thing, for a Nigerian movie, I kind of think that it has some sense of originality. I do know it's not like the most original film, but for a Nigerian film, yeah. Another thing was Dr. Sid. He tried for a directorial debut. He tried. I think, yeah, that's all I can say about that. For the comedy, like everyone else has said, I think Dimeji Lateef was literally like the only funny person. But yeah, he has like, let's say, comedic timing. He knows how to like deliver these lines. He has these like expressions and gestures that he does with his face. And so yeah, Adedimeji Lateef he's a gem. That's just all I can say. And the last thing is, I love how this thing knew that it wasn't supposed to be more than 90 minutes. They did not bother themselves to stretch anything to become a 2 hour film. It was 90 minutes, and it was 90 minutes. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Timmy. Tarara, do you want to say some of the things you like?
Hi, good evening.
Hi.
Unlike many people, the premise of the movie is not new to me. It's just that it's more for the girl child. I've never heard it for the boy child, but I've heard for the girl child several times, that you cannot marry for your elder sister. In fact, I have a neighbor basically that happened to, that she had to wait like 2 years for her elder sister to get married before she finally married the guy she was dating. The guy was very patient because they were ready to marry, but the other sister was not, was not ready and all that stuff. So the premise is not strange to me, and it's new in Nollywood. So many Nollywood people have not explored that premise. So I like the premise. I like the fact that the main character, the Demi and his babe, are not faces I have seen regularly in Nollywood. I think I like the fact that they explored new faces for that lead role. I like the fact that the younger Demi was chubby, the bigger Demi was also chubby. Like there was a smooth you could see the resemblance in body frame now. And that then the product placement, two things. The product had purpose in the movie. You could see that they were drinking and all that, but at the same time, I guess it was a little bit too much, but we could manage that. Now people like the comedy, but I'm not such a fan of the comedy, except that I liked the actor and the facial expressions did it for me. I was cheesing a lot because I like rom-coms generally. I was cheesing hard. I liked the fact it was a feel-good movie. They didn't try too hard to be deep. They didn't complicate the story. It was a simple story. They didn't complicate it. They didn't make it on. They didn't have unnecessary twists. It was simple, straightforward, and in my opinion, the loose ends were properly tied. You were able to, oh, this character did this character got this character got this. There was no, and I like the bond between the siblings. They seemed like they were awkward at first because one was them the one that planned that, but deep into the movie, you see that they actually did care, and there was appropriate chemistry between two awkward brothers with different from different ends of life who actually care about themselves. That you could see that bond basically between the brothers. Their mom, although strict and all that, they have a lot of regard for her, and you know, and the relationship between the mom and the brother's fiance and all that, it was really cool. It was like a good family setting, good family drama that makes you feel good, makes you feel nice. And Dr. C did a good job. The setting was nice. I liked the setting of the house and all those stuff. They were really relatable, really Nigerian. And as I said earlier, a very feel good movie that, you know, you have time on your hands, just watch it and you smile. Oh, thank you. That's all. That's all about the good.
All right, thanks, Tara. Elizabeth, please tell us some of the things that you liked. Elizabeth, are you there? Okay, if Elizabeth's not there, let me see. If we...
Hello,
Elizabeth,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, finally. So what do I like about it? I think everyone has said mostly what I like. I like the animation. I think one thing that I liked was the music. So Dr. Sid's music. I mean, it was a reminiscence of Intergalactic with Kid Cudi. I would have assumed. I mean, if the romance was tighter, if it was a better production, I think it would have been really good or really great. But I thought it was a good addition. What did I like? Everybody has talked about pockets of performances. I think the best was Mortgage's performance. Sometimes Latif, sometimes I think I laughed a couple of times towards the end, so that's a plus. And another plus for me is Dija. I don't know why she was there. I don't know what she was doing. But every time she comes on my screen, I'm just like really happy. What else did I like about the order of things? I think that's it mostly for me. Thank you.
Well, that was sharp, fast. Thank you, baby girl. Oh, Yemisiche. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. If you have things you like about the other things, please let us know.
Yeah, Yemisi is just fine. So I joined in a bit late, so I don't know if anyone has mentioned, but I think the only thing I liked about it was the opening scene into the opening sequence, like the change from film to animation and the running, because you typically don't get that in Nollywood. But yeah, I really, really loved that. Then after that, it was downhill for me.
All right, thanks. Thank you. All right. Okay, so for my things that I liked, hang on, actually, before I get to some of the things I like, I think some people have dropped some comments. All right, so Azamov Kajuna says things I liked about the other things. The first 20 minutes before Latif appeared, Takwe's reaction to the proposal, DJ as a whole was a beauty. I love to see her do that character again with a better director. The music, as expected from a singer, director. Okay, that's not me. That's actually how it's written here. Turn director, I imagine is what I was trying to say. But yeah, all right. Okay, so...
sorry, Mr. C, before you say what you like.
Sorry, Zainab. Sorry, I sorry. Please
No
go.
worries. I just wanted to point this out because it's random, but I kind of like that the proposal at the beginning wasn't a red flag. Like the whole wanted to get pictures, wanted to get it right. I feel like it would have been cliche if they had just made it seem like, well,
this is why she's not a great person. But it's like it happens. It happens in real relationships, and your person is a person. They get what you're doing, and they get that you just like it. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool and realistic.
All right, no, thanks, Zainab. Sorry, I almost missed you. Just some more from the Galaxy show. As they said, they thought the lighting was good and the cinematography as well. I really like DJ on this. More love for DJ. I smiled every time she came on. All right. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm not gonna repeat too much of what people said, but just to reinforce, like I did like that it was short. And there's so much you want to give, and to the structure of this. I think Timmy mentioned that, yeah, the structure as well. But like, I do think this is not this is a script that was, I think, maybe purchased or bought or something like that. But like, when we go into the bads, we'll talk about like how some people might talk about how it doesn't always feel quite Nigerian. And that's because like the script isn't. But it is a very paint by numbers script. And I'm saying this in the good because in Nollywood, paint by numbers is actually a scarce commodity in that the fact that people aren't very good with scripts, aren't very good with structures. The setup, like I think Vanessa mentioned, was good. They set things up really. You know, like within the first like 5 minutes, what the story, the film's going to be about. Now, I know that could be to the detriment in some cases, but it is part of the things that sort of make, if anybody enjoys this, is what makes it work. Is like, yes, it's paint by numbers, has been done before, but like people said, it feels more Nigerian than most, at least. I also think it's very ambitious in the way it decides to shoot it. Now, as simple as the script and paint by numbers as it is, there are a lot of camera techniques and editing that needed to have been ambitious. Now, like people might say they like the cinematography, and of course they, I get that, and I understand what people are saying, but like, it's something that would have had to have been spoken about a lot in pre-production before they went on sets. Like when he goes to the shop and it's the last game, and like there are dolly zooms and all of that thing. Like it's a proper. I recognize all these shots from Hollywood, and I mean they make sense in this, but like we don't very much do them here. And so they weren't just. It's not just, hey, we took the script. It's not just we took the script and we're just taking whatever we saw. There was a lot of effort in the technical aspect to make this more than what the script was, both in the editing as well and in the shooting of it. I think some of the sound design as well. Like I think somebody mentioned there's a transition, like the transition from the animation, right? It's the animation of a lead running, and then it sort of changes, and then the edits that goes from a lead character's animation to the actual animation. I think those kind of things are nice to see. But yeah, I'm in team. I like the intention. To be honest, Vanessa said she wasn't going to say it, but she basically said it, and I'm still here, and you can tell why that might be an issue for some of the things in the latter half. But let's talk about. Yeah, because you said you like the intention, but you tried to disguise it. You tried to disguise like the word, like the worry.
You words in my mouth.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about some of the things we didn't like. All right. Do you want to start us off, Vanessa?
Sure. Why not?
Hey, please be brief. Plenty people.
I do have the tendency to go on and on, but to be honest,
There's not a lot to talk about with this. I think my major issue, and you broached it a tiny bit about how there were moments where it didn't feel Nigerian. And I think one of the most prominent ways, and it's not just in this film, so I'm not gonna put it all on the other of things and Dr. Sid. It's mainly Nollywood's transfer of the nerd trope into our society. And the reason I say this is because we don't do it well. And I don't know, maybe it's also because our version of nerds as Nigerians isn't the Hollywood version of a nerd. But Nollywood has taken it to be that the Hollywood version of the nerd is the universally accepted version of a nerd. I've said nerd more times in this sentence than I've ever said nerd in my entire life. But it's the glasses, I guess, interested in computer. The thing is, he could have been all of that without the annoying. I know this is me being nitpicky, but it genuinely grates on my nerves when a Nigerian man does the playing a nerd character and they do the push up the glasses of the nose. See, if they should show me that thing, I feel like fighting somebody. And every single person
Both
that
of them actually did it. Both of them actually did it. Both nerds did it because it's the shortest way.
Exactly. It's so annoying. And it's like, why is that? And it's this thing of he's, I guess, socially inept. And it's like not all nerds are socially inept, in my opinion. I think a nerd is someone who's just incredibly passionate about something that other people aren't. I think we're all nerds about specific things that we're interested in. And I think that's a much better way to approach it. I don't know. The whole thing just felt very awkward. Them constantly trying to portray him as a nerd. Because the truth is, my guy is a game developer. In the current situation that we're living in, he's a tech broad. That man is quite literally hot cake. He's hot cake in the dating market.
Is it just me? I can't hear Vanessa.
It's not. Hey, they didn't feel like people in love. I'm trying to find a nice way around saying this. I know that Timini is older than Tokwe, but because of the styling, the makeups, the everything that they put Tokwe inside, they now made her kind of sort of appear older than he was. And I guess Tokwe being Timini being a short king didn't help the situation either. It just felt very off. I also feel like, granted, the stories were about the story were about these brothers, but I just also felt like these women were just what's the word? Background pictures upon which these two men shined. This woman who apparently is, I guess, Temilade's twin flame. We know next to nothing about her. We don't know the reason why she finds social interactions with the opposite sex. Or maybe I was tuned out when she said it. But I don't think it was actually fully explained to us why she herself is socially inept with people of the opposite sex. It was fully told to us why Demilade felt the way that he did about women and all of that. But am I the only one that felt a little bit, some of it was a little incelly? Like, even before Miss Thing, even before the girl at the party did what she did, he already was like, girls like you don't talk to girls like me. Sir, a little incelly. Some of it just felt like, I don't know, a lot. I think the thing is, and this is coming as a rom-com aficionado, I go off of rom-coms, go off of feelings for me. If you don't set off, if who is that? Who did that? If I should grab you there. Rom-coms go off of feelings for me. If I don't feel a burning in my heart, if you cannot tell me where you will stand between heaven and earth and tell me where I am and make my heart catch fire, it's not working. And I didn't feel any of the romance in this. This was a good family drama, family comedy. I don't even know anymore what genre this is. Sha family something, sha, because the love was not love, There was no romance, there was no chemistry, there was no tension. It didn't feel like a romance. And my heart breaks because I just want a Nollywood romance to put me in the field. Let me be thinking about you 3 days after. Oh, love. I go love. Oh. And this film didn't do anything. Honestly, what this film made me do was go and listen to Dr. Seed from Mohit's era. That's all this film made me do. It didn't make me feel like love was important. It just failed in that regard, to be honest. It failed in the one thing that it was supposed to do. And I think it all boils down to the Hollywoodification of Nollywood and the transfer of Hollywood onto Nollywood, Hollywood tropes onto Nollywood characters, onto Nigerian characters, fails 90% of the time because the audience can't relate to it. It feels very strange. It feels very un-Nigerian. It doesn't feel like us. And so there is that barrier already from me feeling anything. And then you now put me with 4 leads who literally feel like wet wood. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Lama, not wet wood.
It's wet wood. You know when you can't spark fire on wet wood. It didn't spark.
Screaming.
Fire. You're actually next. Thanks,
Okay.
Vanessa.
All right, let me get my notes. All right.
Okay, my Jesus.
All right, let's do this. The gaming theme they started didn't fully actualize. Demi never released the supposed game he was developing that he spoke about at the beginning and at the end. Zero release of his game at the end. What was that about? The film was shot in a way that made Lagos seem to be a place where you could walk to your next location. Because how did he wake up and run to the gaming place? After the club, did he magically walk down the road and see the Timoni girl, I'm thinking that's her name, sitting in the cafeteria? Was he really able to see her from the road? We never saw the follow-up for the coding class for the Bonvita kids. Hello? What was it with the vampire gimmick? What did Raven add to the plot? Deidre is gorgeous, yes, but what did Raven add to the plot? What even made it more annoying was their Dedamola character at the end. Why? It felt like it was a pot of so many things to see what would work. I didn't even know this was meant to be a rom-com, even though they were setting him up for things. Like, I was just like, this is random. Which brings me to, what's his name? Latif's dating thing. At first, when I saw him, I was happy. I like Latif a lot. But the whole dating stuff with the ladies and, the different ladies that he was being paired with, one, it was odd. Okay. The second thing was why he was at the club and why he showed up at the house. And that scene where they were trying to make it seem like, this was the worst part. They were trying to make it seem like, okay, Lillian's character comes in. She's invited by the sister-in-law. But before Lillian's character comes in, Latif comes with Dija. But they already had a conversation in the club that Dija was the worst one and all of that. So why did he bring her there? It was so weird. Then when he was angry, Demilade, he says to Timini's character that he's going out, he'll come back. Where did he go to? When he comes back at the exact time that Lillian has told this girl that, we're married. It just didn't make sense. It was very played into. Then the wedding location, no, it was not nice. The ending with the joint honeymoon and them in the car, I could see where they were going with, but they didn't sell me on it. In fact, it just felt forced. That's my thing. I didn't like it. I mean, no. And then I couldn't get over the whole Hollywood theme. I know we can expect it from film 1, but come on. I would love a more grounded approach. What else? It really disappointed me, Latif's character. I wouldn't lie to you. Okay, he's good and everything, but the character itself, what was the point? Because at the end of the day, Latif's character was with Dija's character, who now changed her name to Sunshine. I'm not getting things here. You know what I'm saying? again. So there were some things that didn't really sit with me, and overall, it wasn't really an enjoyable experience. But we do what we do for the club. You get me? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Oh my God.
We do it. I'm
What have
sorry,
they put
Fi.
this
It
is all
seemed like
Mr. C's fault.
I'm sorry I put you through this one. But like,
Put you through
it's I don't think so. Five feels well. I'm sure we have, but yeah, this seems like this is in the lower half of five stuff. All right, okay. Atas, please, tell us some things that didn't work for you and the other things.
I did not like the order of things. The premise was insane. I just do not understand why, even if his mom was insane the entire time with the supposed order of things, why they just continue to go along with it. It didn't make sense, especially since he comes in all, I'm not telling you, I'm not asking you for permission, I'm just informing you. And then we go from that to just this mess. So that was weird. The product placement was insane. I don't know if I have seen Five Alive this many times in my entire life. Like, there's just no possible way anyone drinks that much Five Alive. And then the Bonvita thing was crazy too, especially because the flyer shows up with Bonvita on it, and then that's it. That's the entire purpose. The van drives up with Bonvita on it, and they're handing out flyers, and yeah. But the movie had to be paid for somehow. I didn't understand that whole conflict there at dinner. Like, it didn't make sense that Timothy's fiance invited her friend over when everyone was like clearly aware that Demi was bringing somebody home. That confused me and annoyed me a bit. I did not like Latif's character, did not find him funny, did not know why he was there. The dating agency was insane and made no sense and was clearly 100% Hollywood. The goth girl, witch, whatever she is, made no sense. The goth guy at the end, who was just spouting nonsense there, basically repeating everything she said in the earlier scene, made no sense. It made me cringe a lot, like, and not in a good way. The Dom scene where this woman in sparkly, glittery black outfit is saying bark like a dog. I wanted the ground to open up and swallow me. I physically could not sit through the entirety of that scene. The end where all of his family members that just show up at her house, I could not get through that scene either. I think I fast forwarded through that. The double wedding, I fast forwarded through that as well. So, yeah.
All right.
Oh, wait. The watches,
Oh.
please. I still don't understand what the significance of those watches were at the end. And I just want somebody to spell it out for me. Because he points out that Charles Onoje is wearing a new watch. Also, why was Charles Onoje there? Anyways, he points out that Charles is wearing a new watch, and they just wave it off. And then he points out that his mama has a new watch, and we just kind of wave it off. And I guess that's the end of that. Like, please, somebody tell me.
Sorry, Otas, you're not inviting your favorite bartender to your wedding?
No, like, I mean, there's also that. Like,
happens all the time.
My baristas are coming to my second wedding.
All right. Okay. Well, aren't you supposed to be sick?
I am.
Okay. Be sick quietly.
Allow me to find some joy now.
Okay. Well. All right. Just some comments coming through. Zainab says, also Neds can have cute glasses. I'm convinced they dressed up Taya as Scooby-Doo's Velma. Of me. All right. Ism of Kaduna says, how did you guys find Latif funny? All right. And some people just not into Latif. All right. Okay. Is Cynthia? Hang on. Is Cynthia up? Okay. If Cynthia is not up. That means I've lost my. Ayinka, please go ahead.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Bad.
I think most people have already mentioned some of the bads I definitely kind of want to talk about. It is, yeah, the trope thing, the thing Vanessa talked about the nerd trope. It is quite annoying. Um, it is understandable that people watch Hollywood movies and gather something from it. Like, of course, Asian movies do this too. But you see, their nerd trope is not even like the same thing as the Americans, because they tailor it to themselves, and we should learn to tailor it to ourselves. It's kind of the same thing as like Far From Home being ridiculous a ridiculous representation of Africa of Nigeria. Yeah, sometimes I wonder who. I think I sound like a broken record now, because almost every single um time I come up in this space, I keep on asking, who is this made for? What audience are you making this for? If you think you're making it for foreign audience, you're kidding yourself. Not that many foreign, like, you're really kidding yourself. Just make it for Nigerians. Actually make it to relate to the Nigerians. Like, indeed, I've heard about the old, like, what's it called? The order of things, like, oh, the older one doesn't get married. I've heard it. That one is the one that kind of feels Nigerian. And in some ways, they try to tailor it to Nigerianness sometimes. And in some ways, I think they do succeed more than, let's say, if it's an anthill production. Anthill production is at the worst at this. They're really, really bad. They're really, really, really bad with their localization. But this one does much better than other productions does. With that, like, I kind of need what Vanessa said. Guys, I get it. We like American stuff. America made cinema language popular, but we should take their stuff and localize it, and we should take their stuff and do our own stuff with it. That's all I can say. That's moving on to the next bad thing about it. Some of the I felt like they didn't necessarily perform it well. Some of the comedies, like, what is the thing with having the dominatrix dating scene? That makes no sense. It wasn't performed very well. Maybe that there was some very, like, not well set up performances that doesn't, like, let the joke on paper flow through on screen. So that's an issue. Um, that's one bad thing about it. Mostly, there's really not that much terrible thing about it apart from the quite obvious, like, sometimes it feels disjointed. As a Nigerian watching it, it feels disjointed. You can clearly see some of the very, very foreign, like, the not trope that was annoying. Um, the romance, the romance was okay. It wasn't necessarily the best, but it was okay. It wasn't the main focus of the story. Uh, that was really kind of the main bad. That was really it. The comedy sometimes didn't land because they didn't perform it well. The timing was wrong because they didn't perform it well. You know, other than that, those are the bads for me. For a first movie, Dr. Seed has shown himself to be a more excellently, at least competent director than many people that I can talk about. And I wish they hired more actors who actually have experience acting rather than some popular people, celebrities that we just know around. It feels like he hired some of his friends to do some of the to be in some of the roles. Nice, but I feel like the next step is like you should probably have hired some actors who actually have some experience acting to do some of those things, and maybe it would have improved it better. There were some scenes that were not necessarily needed. I think I mentioned that in the good. The vampire scene, cut it out. The ending went on a little bit too long than it should. The last, the very last scene, I think that was okay because it followed, like, the theme of the story, the order of things of something, and just a ridiculous funny thing. But, like, they should have cut out some things to make it more to flow better. Those are, like, my more technical bads and the bads of it. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I will sound like a broken record because I know that Once that black and white movie is coming out. So when we get to watch that black and white movie that they are pursuing, I will also sound like a broken record then. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Anika. All right. I might have to rotate some of people. Please don't feel, because I need to get some peeps on. The queue. I don't know what the queue is like, to be honest. Sarara, please go on.
Hi, good evening once again. Well, the premise, like I said, was okay. However, the point is, I think Nigerian directors and Nigerian producers should know their audience. In a typical setting like that, the mother may make a decision. Where are their family members? Why is it just the mother? I don't know. I'm too Nigerian, but in that kind, even the mother doesn't make that kind of. Mother doesn't make that kind of decision. There is a father, there is an uncle somewhere. There's just something that shows is a family tradition. The mother just said it, that is now family. Which family? Please, so they just made it look like, oh, this is a Nigerian premise, but Hollywood also, because we are, I don't know about everybody, but we are Nigerians. And something as big as wedding. Why would Timini propose to his girlfriend without his mother knowing first? I don't know about, maybe it's new modern thing in Nigeria. But many Nigerians that are proposing, they are pick introduction dates before they go and propose officially. So that's the truth. When people are having introduction safe, it's just so that it's not look like not proposed to you. That's why I'm proposing to you. Nigerians mostly will take, mommy, I want to, this person and I, we are almost want to get married. So it is very un-Nigerian for his mom to just be fine after he proposed that he wants to propose. I don't know how, I don't know, but it is very, particularly when they are even living in close proximity or living in the same house. I mean, the mom would have been carried along, because in Nigeria, you just don't do wedding for yourself. Family members are the ones that are getting married. So that part of it, it was the premise, but at the same time, it was somehow. And knowing his mom, because he had grown up like that, it should not have come as a surprise to him. Now, moving to the video, I talk about product management. Product management was nice. However, it was too much. We were literally watching Five Alive every scene. Like every scene. We understand that you're advertising their product. We understand that there was a way, I don't know. I get it, but I don't know. It was a lot. It was quite a lot. Now, Adedimeji Lateef, I like him, but his part was unnecessary. We could have had a matchmaker that wasn't as comic, and it will still make sense. You don't have to make everything comedy or water down everything for us to laugh. We are smart enough to laugh at normal things that ought to make us laugh. We don't have to talk about Sue or Tolu every time. We can laugh at normal things and actually enjoy normal comedy. You know, I will refer to Fine Wine in this case, because Fine Wine was a romantic comedy, and quite a number of us liked Fine Wine. We laughed at some places. There was no exaggerated comedy in Fine Wine. This one we didn't need the exaggerated comedy from Lateef. Now, the scene, the scene where the mother, the sister-in-law, the guy doesn't even know her address. How did the mother and the sister-in-law locate it before him? I don't know. The mother was not saying she wants to settle what? We need to pay attention to details around us as Nigerians, because many times we watch a movie, we know this is a Nigerian story, but a lot of people watch it but cannot place it, cannot relate to it, and that is the major undoing of Nollywood. I'll say Lekki Nollywood. They try so hard to be foreign. And I saw a particular tweet earlier this week talking about poverty porn in Nollywood movies. I want to say that. I want to see when you say that thing was actually wrong, because we are a poor country. So many people that you do, any rich movies that you do, to the quarter of your audience cannot relate to it. So I think you should find something that we will relate to as Nigerians, and it will be nice. There's a reason why Nigerian epic. There's a reason why Ageshikole was the most watched movie last year, and Nikolako was the most watched movie on Netflix last year. Nigerians relate to these things, whether you call it prude, whether you call it whatever, they relate to it. Find mushy. We can find rom-coms that we can relate to. The movie would have been nice if they paid attention to a lot of more details that people have spoken about that I don't want to repeat. And the casting of Timini and Tokpe looked older than Timini. Yes, she's younger in age, but for the purpose of this movie, she looked older than than Timini. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly speaking, we should pay more attention to our environment and give us movies that will, resonate with us more. Thank you.
All right, no, thanks, Sarah. I'm going. Since Cynthia was supposed to be next in the queue.
Oh yes, okay. So first of all, I dislike the premise of the movie. So I already had a lot of bias while I was watching the movie. I wasn't convinced that the younger brother has to wait for the other elder brother to marry. I wasn't convinced. So a lot of things that were going on in the movie, I have too much bias. Okay. I know that the essence of the 2011 scene was to set up something, but I disliked it really because everyone was reading from the script and I don't know. I just felt like the guy was already shy to talk to women before that scene. So, and I was very much comfortable with Demilade and Tunde character as kids, or the kids that play their character. I was more comfortable watching them than the people that played them in 2011. So I felt like, why didn't they use the children to set up everything? Especially because the shyness to not talk to the woman happened before the whole Amanda's thing. So I don't know. I just dislike the whole 2011 thing. Sorry. I don't know how to feel about the animation. But I guess people like the transition from the whole running from the animation to running to the game store. But I really don't know how to feel about it. Back to transition, and this was something that I was thinking while watching the movie because the 2011 scene when they poured him drink and the next thing Demi is waking with someone pouring him drink, I kept asking myself who poured Demi drink, who poured this character drink. The movie was playing and I was like, but who poured this guy drink? She means they poured him drink to wake up. So I don't know. Yes, I could see that it was just a bit of transition, but I don't know, the transition made me to be thinking about something else, or to be thinking about who poured him the drink instead of concentrating in the movie because I don't think I saw anybody pouring him drink, but I understand why it was there. Same thing with the proposal. I mean, the transition when Timini, after Tunde's character proposed to Sophia, and next thing we're seeing our friends, next thing we're going back. I mean, it just took me out. Um, I think my major issue with the movie was that it has a lot of sub themes that were not addressed. And I felt a lot of the character lacked motivation and it kind of affects my believability of everything I was watching. So why Tunde and Sophia looked, or why Sophia looked older than Tunde, I did not think they had chemistry. I wasn't convinced that they were dating, or I wasn't convinced that these people need to get married. I don't know if I would say they felt comfortable, but I knew that when the whole stuff happened in the house, in the family dinner, and it looks like they were going to break up, I was kind of happy that they were going to break up. And when the resolution happened and they're back together, I was like, what? I wasn't even convinced that there was something strong there that this proposal to go to marriage. Um, People have spoken about Larry Latif. I also felt his own Guinea. I understand he's setting people up for dream dates, but nigga, what? I'm sorry, not nigga. Guy, what's your problem? Why are you in the house? Eh? I know he was trying to say something about make clients, but we're seeing you everywhere. You are in the club, you are in this, you are in that. You can be everywhere. So why are you in this house with this raving babe? The same thing with Maria. So Lillian, hey God, Lillian loves speaking terrible roles, and it's so unfortunate because it's not like she's a good actress, but she loves speaking terrible roles, and I don't know how she doesn't want to help herself. But the character Maria, um, yes, I understand they tried to tell us Sophia, is paying her money, so she's pretending. But even at that, she was very shallow. That character was very shallow. It was just, I like him, it will be my husband. I like him, it will be my husband. Even as someone that was pretending, I just felt like they could have done more. Which one is I like him, he'll be my husband? So when the whole scene happened and she's like, give me my money, I did this, I did this. I'm like, okay, even at that, get out of my screen, please. Then also the death scenes, I guess it was done to be funny, but they all ended up being cringe. And everyone that appeared, from Shay to Maria to the girl, is it Maria that is her name? I think I'm saying to Maria. Yes, Maria Chike. Yes. From Shay to Maria to the girl that was speaking pidgin and called him dog, to the other one, to Dorothy, to Toyin was here, right? Toyin Lawani appeared. I don't even know. But everyone that appeared, their performances were not good. So with everything that was going on in the movie, it was cringe and it just ended up degrading the movie the more. Then I think Faida said this before I left. Um so this movie we have Demi, and Demi is I am a game developer. In fact, that scene of him running to buy Call of Duty and him doing front row to pick up the sim with to pick up the CD or the game, and the guy, I was like, I really rolled my eyes. But then again, they're trying to say this guy is a Call of Duty guy, so he's a game developer that really needs to play Call of Duty to develop his game. He attended Zoom meeting. No, I don't know if people remember. He attended Zoom meeting when he spoke about the game. He spoke about African mythology in like two date scene. Then we saw the Bonvita something. I am supposed to be something something for the tech hackathon, and everything at
Oh
the
my god.
ending. We say, oh my god.
That took me out. I was so mad. I was so mad. Uh
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
like
So
anytime he just mentioned that Shango game pitch, it was just so irritating because he didn't even give any detail. They never have anything serious planned when they're like making a career for a character. They just say
yeah.
the same thing over and over. You never get into it. We just know that he's making games and he's a nerd, and that's his whole identity. No character depth, nothing.
Yes, exactly, talks. Exactly, talks. That's what I have to say. So like they kept stressing about this whole game. From 2 days of African mythology to Zoom meeting. It's not easy to do Zoom meeting, no. And the people were even wearing suits. So you think it's serious. So him even doing front row to pick up Call of Duty. I cannot do front row. So I know that the energy he put in the acting was there. It was high. And for everything to be like irrelevant at the ending, because I think the writers were probably trying to combine different sub thing and they just left it like that. I was disappointed though. It just felt like let's give him a job and that was it. And nothing happened with it. Then finally, I still don't know how anyone got married. Honestly speaking, I know in my life I said I slept off 3 times, but when Tayo appeared, my sleep disappeared because she kind of made me interested in Demi and I felt they were comfortable, but I also felt they were in the talking stage. It didn't feel like they have transitioned or they have moved forward. Tunde and Sophia, I never believed anything. I don't know. So I was still quite surprised that the two people got married. The two brothers got married. I don't know what the whole breakup scene with Demi and Tayo. I remember laughing because I honestly thought they were in talking stage. I didn't feel the romance, so I'm still shocked that people got married. And I don't know. I also did not like the whole dinner scene and also the resolution at her house because, but at this point, I'm tired because even how Sophie, was it Sophie that went to meet Larry to get her house address and everything, apart from she had it somewhere. But anyways, I don't have the energy to talk about the resolution. For me, really, it was just like a mashup of characters and themes with no motivation and a lot of bad acting, especially from the extras. They ended up degrading the movie the more. The one I was managing, I slept off 3 times, and this was in the first 20 minutes of this movie. Maybe Tayo's character held my attention a little, but yeah, that was it for me. That was it for me. Just that little, and that was because I was curious. Just that little thing. Just yeah, she just held it a little. Yeah, and that's it. You can bring Vanessa up. Oh, I've dropped my summary. I'm going.
All right. Thanks, Cynthia. Oh my goodness. That's very, very detailed in everything. Okay. Vanessa's still screaming from the audience there. Why wasn't Timothy's character? Why wasn't Timothy's character's rigidity as regards his life plan address? Because is he getting married because he's in love or because it's next on his checklist? How does that make his fiancé feel about the relationship? Eda Kundi's characters weren't dissected. Right. No. I think yeah. I mean, my turn has not reached, but this is a big part for me. Is the chemistry and like so the people that feeling like characters, but we'll get to that. All right. I think we'll go Elizabeth and then we'll go Zainab and then Tox. How am I missing? I feel like I'm missing someone. Elizabeth, if you're there.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. Okay, so what I don't like, let me start with I think everybody has said enough. So I'll try to keep this short. There was something that was lacking here, and it's not just because this is a formulaic script, which I don't have a problem with formulaic script. I think it was bad because there was an obvious lack of chemistry between the director and the actors. So when I finished watching this movie, I kept thinking, why is this so bad? Some people may not agree, but it was bad. And I kept thinking, what exactly is the problem? And I think a lot of the things here were not landing because, and then apart from the fact that we were borrowing Nollywood tropes all through, Hollywood tropes rather, it was because it didn't work because of the chemistry between the actors and the directors. So a lot of things were landing as though they were reciting their dialogue from Demilade to the brother. Apart from Ajumoke, that is the mother, every other thing, there was a lot of inconsistencies. And because of that too, there was a lack of fluidity between from plot to plot, right? I don't find the premise atrocious. I think a couple of Nollywood movies have also done that, and like somebody said, is prevalent between sisters. Like your sister has to marry first, and I don't think so. I don't think the premise was outrageous to start with, or something out of the way. I thought it would have worked, especially if you try to. It is something that can be transposed into the Nigerian reality. And so a lot of things that were wrong. So our depiction of the nerd, right, the game person, was very Hollywood. And I think because of it, we're not pulling it off. I didn't think the Demi character pulled it off correctly. In fact, I think the opening scene where he was being bullied by a girl, it wasn't pulled off well either. It was very caricature. It was like I was watching like a high school rendition. I'm sorry to say, I think my secondary school did better if we were supposed to act that. It was just bad. So I think the chemistry between the director and the actors, fluidity between plots, some of the plots were atrocious. They made sense. And I know because it's for the comedic, the rom-com reason. Your brother, you were trying to hook your brother up, so you went to what's it called? You went to a dating, yada yada. You picked, started meeting girls, formulaic, structured already. And then you met somebody Tayo, okay. And then both of them were dressed like boring people. Again, too formulaic, nothing, no personality, no character, just that. Then they were in the club, she went, came back, oh, I saw you with another girl. Okay, you think, okay, from here the story should move forward. I get it that they were trying to make it seem as though there are a lot of obstacles between Demilade and Tayo's love, whatever that was. But it felt so unnatural. She went there, he invited her for a date, and then she met Lily's character, and then she got home, she was crying. The first thing I asked myself was, why is Tayo crying? It didn't make any sense to me. Like, why are you crying? Did you guys really like each other? Like, that, really, because I didn't see it. So it was just, again, I don't know what was happening between the director and what it was trying to achieve. I feel like if this was transposed into maybe like Bollywood, maybe they would do it better, because Bollywood also steal borrow a lot of Hollywood tropes all the time. But it just wasn't working here. Nothing was working. I didn't know why Dija was on screen, but every time she was on screen, I was happy. I was like, Dija again. But I don't know why she was on screen. I don't know why that plot device was used. Latif's character, he started with some rather horrible accents. Was that necessary? And then later, he was just popping up everywhere. The ending, I was like, is it that we don't know how to end a movie? And then it just wouldn't end. I'm like, why is this movie not ending? And it just went on and on. And then I found it ridiculous when, like, oh, you said yes just after I said yes. I'm like, hey, people said yes. When? Okay, maybe I was not supposed to do that. And then the conversation just kept going. And I'm like, why is this conversation going on? So, all in all, I thought it was boring. I thought it was very boring. It was tedious. Couldn't follow through. And I get that it was supposed to be cheesy, and then maybe for me, I think the camera quality and it just seemed as though this movie should be on Iroko TV. There was something about the quality of camera that I was looking at. Nothing was standing out to me about the cinematography or the picture quality or anything around that, even production design. Apart from the music that I really liked, and then the animation sequence to the opening scene, nothing else. So I don't think he's horrible. Please don't get me wrong. I just think that it is not exactly for me. I really like romance a lot, and I've watched too much romance for me to settle for this one. This was just not on my list of romance that I should settle for. I just don't have my kids. Thank you, guys. Oh, apart from, again, the dialogue was bad. I don't know. Maybe it's because they transposed Hollywood dialogue. The dialogue was not good. And then there were times that you think it should be funny, it wasn't landing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, with the dialogue, like I think there were some parts where they did okay, but like there were so many parts where you could just tell, oh no, where it felt like wearing the skin of some Hollywood stuff. I think this is by any means the worst offender. I think they did all right for some parts, but yeah, no, I hear with you with that some of that dialogue. I kept on hearing things and like, is that even us? Who's that? But yeah, but like after a while, you get the gist of where this is going. All right, Zainab.
Yep. So the first thing that I didn't like was the high school party. They all wearing like white t-shirt and denim jacket, same shade of white t-shirt, same shade of denim jacket. I just thought that was kind of lazy. I was also convinced that Dr. Seed had a BDSM kink, because why was it a theme throughout the movie? And there was a post-credit scene for anybody that might have missed it that was just like, I don't know. It was just weird and random and just, I don't know, it went into the horror realm for a minute. Another thing that I didn't like was that there was no difference between, like, so the main character, like, they portrayed him to be a gamer at the beginning, and you couldn't really tell that he was a game developer. And I feel like there's a difference between being a gamer and a game developer, even though they're very related. But we definitely saw him playing games than actually developing the games. His portrayal of being a gamer, like everybody has said, was very, very, very cringe. I wanted to scratch my eyes, bleed my ears out, whatever. It was very bad. I didn't get why Dija was at the wedding. I didn't get why Latif was at the wedding. I didn't get why the person they tried to hook him up with was at the wedding. It just seemed like, why would you invite your enemies to your wedding? The ending scene in the car where their mom called and was talking about making babies, it just it was just very cringe. I noticed a lot of breaking character throughout the dating scenes. The scene that had like Tiana asking Dami to back, and it was basically laughing, and it was just like breaking character. Like, how am I supposed to even take this movie serious if the actors are not taking it seriously? Tyre's outfits were just objectively terrible. I feel like, why are you wearing a shirt and a cardigan at the club? Like, I get it, but like, yeah, the club, it was just very, very out of it. And yeah, final thing for me was the Shango mythology. It just seemed like somebody read like one or two tweets and was like, "Oh, that's a cool idea. Let's just make it the thing that this guy is doing." And it didn't feel like anybody actually gave it much thought. It felt very last minute, like it has to do something right. So yeah, I think those are all my dislikes.
All right. Thanks, Zainab. You didn't hear, but Mrs. C was cheering you in the background with the
mythology. When I heard him mention Ramses and then Shango, I'm like, sir, like I know you're doing like, oh, it's all inside Africa, but like you didn't go Anubis or Ra.
All right. Okay.
You
Thanks.
are going too far. Rumila is right there. Why Ramses?
Ramses, oh sis.
Talks, please. You weren't here for the good, but feel free if you want to talk stocks. Apparently, sorry, I'm just reading your name. I don't know what to call you. Anything you liked or did not like, please tell us about the
Oh,
other
I have
thing.
many things.
Right.
I have a great many things. Okay, I actually wrote this down because I was pissed. So, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
We can. Go ahead.
Okay. So number one, I'm just going to go straight into it. No intro, nothing. If they were trying to advertise Five Alive, they did a very terrible job because throughout the movie, different characters refer to it as diabetic, Jedi, multiple times. That is not good advertising. And then it is now the signature drink of the loser, the nerd in the film. So that doesn't seem like good branding or good advertising to me. And then, like, when he was at his lowest, there were like over 5 bottles of Five Alive around him. So it's like the brand's motto is rock bottom or something. Because that's very, very bad representation. That is very bad. Like, just showing a product 20 times in a film is not good advertising. You don't just bombard people with your product like, well, they're seeing it everywhere, they'll want it. No, they are actively saying bad things about your product, putting it on the ground, throwing it in the dustbin. Anyway, my next observation is that their teenage selves are better actors than their grown-up selves, and the grown-up selves are supposed to be better actors. But like the acting in this film was just remarkably bad to me. Like, it really, really felt like they were just reading off the script. A lot of the time, it felt like they were reading off the script. Like, you would even see a line that, if it had been delivered properly, it would have been funny. Like, granted, this film did not even look like it was for Nigerians at all. And then, like, it just failed, like, woefully in the Americanness because, like, it still just looked, yes, like a caricature. It was a mess. And what else? Yes, the mother shouting and chasing that girl away. I've forgotten her name. The girl that Sophia paid to pretend to be in love with him. When the mother was shouting and chasing the girl away, she didn't even shout that much, and she didn't even chase her that hard. And then she just ran away. It was like the conflict is not even conflicting. There is nothing that can even keep you hooked in this film, like at all. It's very, very boring, very bland, no passion, no emotion, nothing. Like, yes, it's supposed to be light-hearted, it's supposed to be a romantic comedy, but please, for the love of God, just act. Act. Like, sometimes these films feel like a way to clean money because it was bad. It was too bad. Like, the plot of the movie sounds like it was re-narrated by somebody that watched a movie once. It didn't sound like something that was written to be acted. It sounded like somebody's mom watched the original film on African Magic and then narrated what happened in the story. So, like, nobody even filled in the blanks or anything. They just vomited out the story just like that. Like, the characters were not characters, they were their character descriptions. If Timini is somebody that is obsessive about, like, the course of his life, he would be more passionate. I don't know. He would be more something. If he's an obsessive person, then he's not just going to accept that he's an obsessive person. Oh, look at me, I plan everything in my life. You're just saying your character. You're not being your character. You're just saying it. And then this Sophia's friend, please somebody tell me her name. I have completely forgotten her name. When she was saying that, oh, she's a 10 and the other girl is a 3, I'm like, who? Who are you calling a 3? Sandra? Sandra is a babe. Sandra is such a fine babe. Like, she's stunning and she's conventionally attractive. Conventionally attractive with big bum bum at that. Very fine girl, fine face. Is it just glasses? Are we in the 90s that putting glasses on a pretty character makes I don't know, like she's hot when she takes off her glasses? Are you serious? In this
Like
day and age?
Superman.
Like,
Like Super.
Like Superman, you get like Superman in this day and age. Uh, And then that whole Shango game was irritating my spirit. My God. Shango game, Shango game. Like, I was just thinking, okay, if they were bonding over the fact that they are nerds and they like the same things, if he's going to run to her and try and fix their relationship and they're both into gaming, wouldn't a proper grand gesture, a grand romantic gesture, as you're a video game designer, like maybe design a video game character that looks like her or something? Let it be that you actually care about the community that you are claiming to represent, the nerds and the video game lovers, and two nerds finding each other in love, and then their grand gesture and their romance has no personal touch at all. It's just somebody's mother and somebody's sister-in-law and somebody's brother in a parlor. Come on now. They had so many loose threads, like so many missed opportunities. It's crazy. Like, I was actually annoyed. I would have cringed more at this film, but I watched AY's Netflix special just yesterday. So like I think my threshold is a bit higher for this nonsense. But it was so bad. It was just so bad. And like when I watch Nollywood films, there is the good, there is the bad, and then there is the like so bad it's good. And this one was just bad. It wasn't even bad in a good way. It wasn't bad in an enjoyable way. It was boring and bad. And that is a crime that I can never forgive. If you're going to be bad, at least give me, I don't know, camp. Make it campy. Serve me something. Make me laugh. They didn't even try to make me laugh. Oh my God. It was so boring. Wow. I'm personally offended by the time that I wasted watching this film. I was so mad.
Well, okay. Tell us how you really feel about it, Alex. All right. Thanks for everyone sending comments. I've been reading some keep coming. Zainab says, I agree with Tux. That was terrible advertising. I was almost convinced that it wasn't even ad sponsored. Which Brad will greenlight this portrayal? Oh God, I beg. Ism of Kaduna said, exactly, the mannerisms and impressions weren't needed. All right. Okay. I think has everybody, is it Timmy, have we spoken? Is everybody done? Timmy, please go on.
Okay. The order of things. Okay, the negatives. Where will I start from? I think I'm just going to say this, that Timini was a very, very, very terrible brother. Because how exactly do you say these things about your own brother? And it actually doesn't make sense, because this is the same, will I say, Timini's character, who when he was much younger, from the few clips that they showed up, that they showed to us, Timini was like, will I say, passionate or like close to his brother. But then later on in their adulthood, they are forming like brotherhood, booyah, booyah, and you go behind his back and you say all these
So
things about him.
inconsistent. So inconsistent.
Thank you. Like, how? And I mean, Sha, I don't know, but if my fiance should say some very negative things about my brother, I'm sorry, I'm calling off the engagement, because you're getting married into my family and you have the audacity to say these things about my brother. Haba. Haba. But Sha, I don't want to like dwell a lot on that, but yeah, Timini, very, very horrible brother. Another thing is, God of mercy, the meet cute in the film was cringe. It wasn't cute. It was cringe. It failed to hit. it failed to land. It just wasn't it. And even at the meet cute, someone mentioned that, is it Tayo that was her name? She was wearing a shirt and a cardigan. Okay, if you know that this is how you want to depict this particular character, can it be consistent? Because I remember towards the end of the film, maybe it was just my eyes that was doing me somehow. She was wearing, like, towards the end of the film, her whole, will I say, dressing aesthetic changed. Because I remember, was it before the wedding or after the wedding? Around that time period, she started dressing more, how do I say this? More, not in her typical nerdy thingy anymore. And it's like, is this not the same person who thought it made sense to wear a shirt and a cardigan to a club? How did she go from being, like someone said, Nigeria's Velma to, yeah, that didn't make sense at all. Another thing is some characters in this film were given way too much relevance. They were not supposed to either appear at all or even appear in more than one or two scenes. Number one, Charles Inoje. What was his relevance in this film? I mean, okay, maybe one can assume that he is probably like somehow close to the parents or like the family, but I mean, he's a bartender. Why did he come why did he come to the wedding? Why was he and the mother wearing the same watch? Did not even explain that. And
They just
I
wanted
mean,
to say Costa Rica was in the movie. They just wanted to say Costa Rica is here. That's all.
so Charles Inoje, what was he doing here? The watch thingy, they did not explain. And tell me why they just found it so convenient, so convenient that the person who our main character was fighting over a game with just happens to be living in the same apartment that his girlfriend is living in. The apartment that he doesn't even know. You claim that you love this girl and like you're willing to do everything for her. You want to build blah 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 blah, but you don't even know her address. Haba. Ugao. Another thing is the chemistry between the characters. It was inexistent because I mean it's a rom-com. I feel like this film, yeah. While I kind of like appreciate the appeal it was kind of going for, it also fails at actually delivering as a rom-com because there was neither romance nor comedy. I mean, yeah, there were some like funny moments, but like the comedy was, I don't think it's enough the genre rom-com doesn't feel earned in this film because the romance wasn't there. There was no chemistry between Timini and what was her name? Sophia. There was no chemistry between Demlade and Tayo. No chemistry at all. The relationship was unbelievable. Yeah. Another thing is the dialogue, some of the phrases and the expressions do not fit how Nigerians speak. And I feel like people have already like flogged this topic way too much, so I'm just gonna like skip on this. Another thing is there were some continuity issues. Yeah, sorry. There's some continuity issues that were present in the film, and you just have to ask yourself questions like, huh? Like when Omolomo woke up from sleep and they pour, is it juice or whatever, on his face while he was sleeping, and he wakes up and then there's juice on his face, and you're like, where did the juice come from? Or the parts where like they actually poured juice on him, where you were actually supposed to see juice on him, then there was no juice. So it's like, another thing is, I'm not the game development thingy. Yes, as the people have already mentioned, we weren't shown how this guy was a game developer at all. And I feel like that, I don't know if I'll call it subplot, was not even well explored because, number one, not only do they never, ever, ever show us a single moment where this guy actually writes a single line of code for his game that he is so passionate about, we don't even get to understand what makes him so passionate about it because he loves talking about this thing and it makes it seem like, yes, this is like his life dream or something, but like it doesn't make sense because how? Why? You're talking about Shango. You're talking about Kini Kan Kan Kan. Why are you so passionate about Shango? What did they do to you? What's their appeal? What did they do for you? That type of thing. We don't get to see it. And when he decides to pitch his thingy to his fellow investors, whatever, on the Zoom meeting, I am sorry, I do not see that pitch getting anywhere. I do not see anybody dropping money for investment after that pitch. Because is that how you pitch? Is that how you pitch an investment? My SS1 presentation in class was much better than what he did. I'm not sorry to say, but that was just not it for me. And basically, the other things that I'll like to say have already been overflogged. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna end it here. But before I leave, while I can tell that from this space, this film might have left a sour taste on a lot of people's tongues, I would just like to quickly recommend a movie called Rylan that is actually a romantic comedy and that fulfills the title, I believe the genre, romantic comedy. If you want to watch something that is actually a romantic comedy and you would feel happy and fulfilled after watching it, then I will suggest Rylan. Thank you very much. Bye.
Oh, okay. People have things to say. Mrs. C, do you have words? Are you able to speak?
I have words, I think. Wait, I don't want
Look
to.
at how her voice has come back for the bad. Where were you during this, Mrs.
Don't
C?
mind all these people. It's Mrs. C is fueled by hate.
Wow, baby. How dare you? I'm living with my actual up. Anyway, since I didn't say good, I'll just mix everything together. Is that okay? Can I mix it?
Go on, mix it.
Okay. Wait, I think you already talked about that opening sequence, right? So, premise. On one hand, like people have said, I've heard people say this thing, right? That the older person must marry before the younger person does. And while I've heard it, and I still allow rom-coms to have a level of unhingedness, it just seems so abstract to me as a concept. It just, like, if this was a village film, right? If this was one of those films set in the village and the traditions of our land say the younger sibling cannot marry before the other one, I would buy into it immediately. But like in big 2022, just the idea that someone's going to propose to me and then be like, so my mom says we can't get married till my older brother, who has never had a date in his life, gets married. Is that cool? And I'll be like, okay, let's find him a wife then. No, I'll tell you, be a man and stand up to your mother and marry me or get out. So already the premise is like really throwing me, and I kept trying to convince myself to just accept the premise because it's a rom-com, it has to be unhinged. But I couldn't get into that premise till the end. Even worse when she went, oh, with the grandbabies, there's also an order to things. Do you know the condition of everybody's uteruses? Do you know those boys' sperm counts? Do you know? I'm sorry, are they supposed to get abortions if they keep getting pregnant before the first set of couples?
The order of things.
The order of things, right? Like,
wait, but wait, somebody has to get the abortion first.
Like, you can't get pregnant before your brother's wife gets pregnant, but okay, you have an you can't have an abortion before she has an abortion, but she's not
But they draw the line, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's a bit, and this is kind of my problem with it is, pivot a bit, but like we saw Rylan earlier this week, and I think we're kind of preaching the gospel of Rylan, right? And this was the thing with Rylan. I was telling Mr. C when we were watching it that this feels familiar, right? Like it's a British, film with Black British leads, right? And I was like, so much of this feels familiar. And I don't get that from a lot of Nollywood, right? And I didn't get that here. And it's like, I get it, rom-coms are kind of unhinged. I've never broken into an ex-boyfriend's house, so that wasn't what was familiar. But like
Are you sure?
I will confess to nothing. But it's just that sense of familiarity is missing, right? It's like this nerd. I think was it Vanessa that mentioned how this their depiction of nerd, right? It's not the way we typically depict nerds. Like growing up, a lot of boys played game, right? They used to play Sega and then they used to play PS, right? And they gather at like game centers or they go to somebody's house, and we never had this people who play video games are nerds thing. When I was growing up, right? There was none of that. It was cool boys played video games, right? So it's this, it's like, this is not us, right? Which, you know what, fine, I can allow it. But then it's this making of being a gamer is his whole personality. And it was just, okay. And then suddenly he is now kind of suave. Is he suave? Like, he suddenly knows how to speak when he's speaking to this girl, right? But we'll call it the rom-com thing, the romance thing of when you finally meet your person, everything else falls by the wayside, right?
I can't accept that. Do you know what? Because like one thing this movie does really well, like I mentioned is good, is that it chooses to use camera movement, sound design, editing for, a thing is happening here. Like I mentioned in the thing when, the last game, me versus you, that kind of thing. It dramatizes things through cinematography, sound design, and even like effects. Because I think they threw in a fog machine. They threw in a fog machine for that thing. Right. If this is his time to, I can speak now. You should do something.
Yes,
right?
You should make it significant.
It's part of the visual language you've been building for the film.
Yeah.
Can't just think about it in your head, make it up in your head that this is now his time to shine. Yes.
But okay. And like you mentioned, like the dramatization of a few things, like when he was having his little face off with the kid, I thought that was a fun little touch, right? I thought some things were fun little touches. And then when we bring in this other babe, right? The Ron Skill, I can't remember her name. It's like
you call her Ron's girl.
Is she not?
Okay,
I swear they mentioned she was a Ron's girl.
I
am pretty sure they mentioned it.
Okay, I was only half paying attention.
Yeah, she said she took a break from hookups. She's a Ron's girl.
Yes, exactly. She took a break from hookups.
Is that
to focus on his existence?
Does that mean somebody's a Ron's girl?
Yes, baby.
Okay.
No, Mr. C,
Wait,
Mr.
Mr.
C,
you don't
tell
use
us what
to
it
do
means.
hookup.
No, like it's okay. Tell us what it means.
I don't know what hookup means. What does hookup mean?
It's actually it's not hookup, it's hookup.
You don't do hookup.
You don't do hookup.
I don't
know. I need to start charging you. Anyway, so this girl. Now, in a rom-com, when these characters come in, right, this is supposed to be like the character that threatens the relationship, right? And the only way she threatens this relationship is she goes and chats nonsense, right? He didn't show any interest in this babe, right? There was not even a chance that he could have been interested in this babe. She was just a non-character to him and his relationship. There was just no importance to her there, right? So it's like there's no tension from her. There's no threat to the relationship. There's no something else is in the mix. What's going to happen, right? She was just there with shape and bone straight.
Shape and
bone straight that he was not interested in whatsoever. So I was like, what is this, right? And so there's a few things with her character, with her whole spiel, arc, whatever that I want. She shows up to his mother's house for dinner, right?
In that outfit.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
In that,
yes.
Showing her
in
bra
that outfit
and her leather covered big ass. Oh my god.
Yo, I'm sorry. I am not a prude. I love a mesh top as much as the next person. I will wear it, but I would not have wanted to go see my in-laws for the first time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is a Nigerian rom-com, right? She's going to see a Nigerian mother. She's trying to, in quotes, win this guy over. This woman is traditional enough to insist that the younger son does not marry over the older son. And this babe shows up to this house with, I'm going to excuse the leather pants, right?
The
A
bum is
brown
shining leather.
ceiling.
Like it was sprayed on. It looks like it was sprayed on.
With her bra showing, I was weak because when I noticed that I could see her bra, I'm like, who dressed her for this scene? Like, who dressed this scene? I know they're trying to go, oh, she's loud and flashy, but like what she wore to the club would have been a better outfit to go see his mother in. It's not like he had a dad. You get that? She's like, show the goods to the dad and he'll be on my side. And then what else was I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about her clothes.
I was talking about her clothes, yes. I'm sorry. So they said
scene.
What? The dinner scene, yes. Sorry. Oh God, I lost my train of thought. Okay. But yeah, anyway, yeah. And this traditional mother just accepts her like that. Right? No question, no comment. Secondly, he's been speaking about his girlfriend for a while, right? This new babe that he likes. So why would his sister-in-law to be invite her friend to dinner when he has stated and everybody knows that he is bringing a person he's interested in for dinner? It makes more sense to be fostering that new relationship versus trying to push something will not work, right? And if we didn't see that this guy was not interested in this woman, it would have been, I think the emphasis on how absolutely cruel what his sister-in-law to be did would have even been clearer. Because she's going, when he goes, oh, you expected me to have been in a loveless marriage. And she's like, no, she would have annulled the marriage. How incredibly cruel. Because like, if this thing is, if he's going to be getting married to annul it so that you people can marry, how is he not in on it? If you're planning this behind his back, then you do want her to get him interested in her, lull him into this sense of a relationship, marry him, and then crush him so that you and your spineless husband can marry. I know rom-com characters are unhinged. They tend to be unhinged. That was cruel. And the only reason it didn't show how cruel it was because he was not interested. And then he goes, and then she's like, oh, that girl, have you seen her in daylight? She's a 3. And he goes, what gives you the right to body shame her? I'm like, first of all, what kind of...
Which lights do you have, I beg?
This is just a pretty girl. She's just
like, in what world is she a 3? In what world is she a 3? Are we all blind? Are you gaslighting all of us?
Yo, and like even if this girl is like, she's catty and she's like, oh, she's a 3, right? And he goes, what right do you have to body shame her? And then I say, look at her K leg, right? Or look at her stomach. There was nothing to pick out specifically because there's nothing wrong with that babe. Where's the body shaming coming from?
Sandra is a hot babe.
Yeah,
because of glasses
and
sweater.
Because of glasses and sweater.
Glasses and sweater. Which honestly, bully have to be sweater.
Exactly, the Clark Kent effect.
And then he goes, get out of here, Miss Perfect. No, she has small waist. She has big bum bum, right?
She's perfect.
How is she perfect? But those people did not hold one conversation. There was never a flicker of interest he had in her. She was a caricature. It's like, oh, Miss Perfect. How? From where to where?
Everybody was a caricature but the mother, honestly.
Yes, there was so much of a sense of none of these people say. A lot of these people saying these words would not say these words in real life because the words don't match them or the circumstances or make that much sense. Anyway, to me, it's one of the less offensive things we've watched this year. But also, I just have to say, the matchmaking character reminds me a lot of Sima Auntie in Indian matchmaking. Absolutely terrible at their job, but somehow have a lot of customers. So, yeah.
Because single people now food this world.
I'm actually also screaming, I also watched that show. Bye.
Auntie is all our face.
Oh God. Anyway, all right. So for me, right, the things I didn't like. Okay, so one of the things that I used in as positive was that it was paint by numbers, and obviously it's also part of the bad. It's paint by numbers, and paint. Like having a structure is fine, but like you need to add the meat to like disguise it from looking like every other 90s sort of rom-com or whatever 90s or early aughts rom-com out there. But I just didn't think narratively anyway in the story there was enough. I still think there were some things that didn't translate. While I liked the spiritual turned person that was a vampire, I think that person being a witch just doesn't that just feels weird. That she was a witch and nobody was like, nah, you can't do that in Nigeria, fam. That's not how we do things here. It was just like ha 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 funny, and I think that's more of a Western thing than Nigeria. We don't really be playing with witches like that here. We don't be doing that. I think Mrs. C stole my the main character. I can't remember his name. When he changes to be able to talk to girls, there's just no reason why that change happens. It's like, oh, we've met the protagonist. If we've met the person I'm supposed to fall in love with now I'm a good listener. I'm not just going to be going off about my games. Yeah, I can hear what other people are saying now, and I can allow them to speak. It's just like I don't want to go. Everybody has said a bunch of things wrong with it in terms of the characters. But my main issue is that even like whilst I think it did okay in trying to make things interesting technically, it didn't do enough. It didn't do enough for me narratively. Even technically, like I more want to clap for the attempt. And it does some things all right. There are a couple of nice dollyisms, decent dollyisms in there. The other thing I had an issue is that I wish that because usually sometimes this is the thing, like they wish that they learned, maybe I missed it, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but it didn't seem like they learned that, oh no, maybe we don't have to always do the traditional thing like, hey bro, you can do whatever you want. I don't actually want, I'm just gonna go ahead and marry my babe, I love her, blah blah blah. I don't need to. Did it happen? Because it seemed like it was just nice that our lead decided to propose and things worked out as mommy wanted with her order of things, right? Like it seemed like that was what happened, right?
Yeah,
okay, all right.
Because Dr. Sid don't want to teach you lesson.
Okay, all right. No, I'm just like, yeah. I'm just because like in all of these things, sometimes the one part of the thing is that the mother's like,
The
maybe I
moral of
shouldn't
the
have,
story.
yeah,
There's no moral
maybe
of
I
the
shouldn't
story.
have.
There's no moral of the story.
Maybe he shouldn't be so preoccupied with how he
I don't
wants
care
his
about.
life to go.
I don't care about him. It's the
versus
mother.
being a son and a
Is
brother.
the mother that needs to be spoken to? That hey, it
That
needs to be
woman.
realization. Okay, even if she's not coming to it, somebody needs to like know. The conversation needs to happen to her. Like, hey, Mama, I don't particularly like. My brother
Who
can
told you
marry
that
whenever
she and
he's
the
going to marry.
bartender they did not have the conversation when they bought the same
I don't know if
watches?
any of you people
This woman
listen
is
to it.
dictating their wombs.
Okay, all right. Anyway, so yeah, just generally, I didn't buy it, but not for me, not the worst thing. I did notice Paraventure you are on. Did you have good or bad, whatever you want to say?
Wait.
No. Let Paraventure say it,
I
because
know
because we've been speaking for ages, baby, and yeah, let Paraventure please go on. Paraventure, are you there? All right. Okay, if Paraventure is not there. I think Elizabeth, you have your hand up. Let's maybe.
Yeah, I wanted to. So this is just like an addendum, right? I wanted to say that And I think one of the things that really nagged at me was the depiction of what's it called, a nerd in the Nigerian. Of course, it's not in the Nigerian sense, but this is an assumption that your audience is going to just go with that depiction, even though it was like horribly portrayed. And I think one thing, I just wanted to use an example now. Say, what's the name of this film, The Griot. And I think what The Griot did well was depicting a shy person without just going with the formulaic thing. And I think it worked. Latif's character in there, we know that it was shy, but it was not just all things shy par like Hollywood formulaic shyness, right? It was an awkward, stupid, rather than just a shy, and we can see it. And I think because the one thing in storytelling is connecting with your audience, you want relatability, and then you want people to really like your film. So you need to put your audience in mind when you're making films, and not just end with somebody that there's an assumed universal game person and the way they would react, and then they are going to fall in love with somebody who is also obscure. I think it's ridiculous, and I think that's one of the reasons why this just did not work for me. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. All right, let's.
Paraventure's back.
Oh, okay. Paraventure. All right, tell us.
First things first. I think you should give me my props. I remember last month I was, trying to cajole you to discuss Ryling, and then finally you watched it and you saw that it was worth watching. So, first things first. Secondly, this film's terrible. Oh my God. From the somersault that the plus size guy did at the beginning, I was like, come on, man. What's going on? And then at least they gave me the funniest thing I've heard in a while. When he goes, in an accent reminiscent of Mr. C, goes, my name is not Demilade. My name is Demilade. I am not Emeka. In this strong Igbo accent, I was like, Jesus Christ. So the people delivering the lines were so wrong. The casting was bad. And I'm quite shocked as to people talking about the cinematography. I think I've seen a few comments going that the cinematography was good. It was like, music videos from Dr. Seed's A days. Unfortunately, his A days were like 15, 18 years ago. The early days of Afrobeats. The coloring was so bad. The sound was bad. And then the only thing that even echoed anything from his musical, suggests that it was from a musical background. Was at the middle of the film was a couple of vignettes, meet this girl, meet this girl, meet this girl. There was no connection or chemistry between the characters. I was appalled. Like, considering it's from a musical background and all the improvements, all these TG Omori guys doing their videos, the color, the fanfare, the piazzas you see on, say, things like, what's that film that musical video by Kiss Daniel, or all these musical videos, it's an explosion of color. That's the least you could have expected, I thought. Maybe engage one or two of his colleagues from the music industry and say, look, how do you guys do this? But perhaps it was my TV, where everything looked, extra bright in places, or just jarring. Sound was jarring. I wouldn't, considering I just, been talking about Ryling and seeing the kind of things that Ryling did. Ryling looked, obviously it's a UK film, so it's an unfair comparison. But the person that, made that film seemed to have taken more lessons from musical videos of today than Dr. Seed, who comes from the musical industry, did. So it was a terrible film. I'm sorry. And it's a film I wanted to like because it's an interesting premise. The premise was quite, okay, promising, but the execution was so shoddy, and it was quite disappointing. Cool, thanks.
All right, thanks, Paraventure. I think, but then you couldn't pass on the opportunity to gloat about the right lane recommendation, and also Mr. C catching it straight there. Well, sorry. But yeah, I think we're fine to start our summaries now. Vanessa, you are usually the person that kick us off.
Please
Because
go
I'm
ahead.
always here first. Like,
Yeah,
I like how
welcome.
you're trying to make this a negative instead of a positive. Like, come on. Summary. Uh, I is okay. If you want nostalgia of dirty scene, go and watch the first scene and just listen to Winchy Witchy for the sake of listening to Winchy Witchy. But if you want to enjoy in the order of things, listen to Nollywood Film Club. Don't watch the film.
Well, okay. Fi, is it Fi? It's a task. It's a task. Sorry.
It's actually Fi.
Is it actually Fi?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Vanessa
Sorry.
Fi than me.
Sorry, he's an old man. He's going to
Fi, please go on.
Sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so summary. I didn't like the film. I didn't like the split screen. I didn't like the joint honeymoon. I'm over it. Thank you so much, Film Club. I'll not be watching this film again. Bye.
Even when she doesn't like it, she's still a ray of sunshine. All right. Thanks, Fi. A task.
I think we need to ban the C's from recommending romantic comedies to us. And I feel like that's a petition we need to start soon. This was
Yeah.
not great. You guys are not doing a good job of winning me over to the romance side. I keep moving further and further away. I really need to know what was up with the watches. No one will answer me, and it's going to bother me for the rest of my life. I'm not going to watch this movie again. I don't think I would recommend it. But I really liked seeing Taya on my screen. I don't know why. She was just so cute. I think it was like a visual representation of fire on the screen. Just like an adorable person who just had like a great personality the entire movie. But I might never drink Five Alive again, but that's it.
All right. Okay. All right. Income. Please tell us your summary.
It's a very paint by numbers something. It's not honestly. It does not to me. It does not engender too much passions, whether positive or negative. Me like on a Sunday night or when you come back from work, any night, you want to watch something, you can put it on in 20 minutes. If you don't like it, turn it off. Choose something else. Yeah, that's my summary.
All right, thanks. I think Chat's GPT knows Incan's summary by now. To be honest.
What did you say?
No, I didn't say anything. No, I was saying I thought Chat GPT could probably do a summary at this point.
Look, it's just cute. It's just cute. You have to be pretty bad for you to get me to be like, never watch this movie ever again. And it has happened once.
Once, yeah. Yeah, we'll never speak of that film again. All right. I'm going to go with Timmy. Timmy, please give us your summary for this film.
The order of things, I didn't hate it because, the film was cringe, but I have a thing for cringe films. So, genuinely speaking, I know I'm biased saying this, but I didn't hate it. And as a directorial debut for Dr. Sid, we'll clap for him, please. He tried. So.
Oh yeah, thanks, Timmy. I'm Elizabeth. Please give us your summary if you haven't already.
So the summary is it's supposed to be a feel good movie. This is a commendable outscene for Dr. Sid, this being his first movie. I'd like to encourage you and say, maybe learn from all of these little things in storytelling. And although the production value doesn't look like the money that I am assuming would have been spent on it, I think that this is like a stepping stone. Personally, I found this movie to be boring and very difficult for me to follow through. I don't know if I'll be recommending, but I can say that my taste probably is not somebody else's cup of tea. So maybe there was somebody out there who is used to this kind of format and would want to watch. Well, I really don't know what my verdict is really, but personally, I found it funny. I mean, sorry, boring, not funny. Yeah, yeah. So that's it for me.
All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Paraventure, summary.
Summary. Yeah, it's not a good film. Basically. And please, can we have Cordelia next? Thank you.
Oh, good. All right. Nollywood Film Club. Mrs. C, your summary.
Okay.
Oh God, Jesus!
What's not?
All of
I
them,
actually had to call.
all over my phone.
That's not true. I turned away.
No, I felt it.
Never mind.
I'm going
You
to
should
wash
be
my hands.
honored by her germs. How
Thank
Seriously,
you.
I'm gonna.
Thank you.
I might cut off my thumb, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah. Should I help you? Anyway, like I was saying, so Mr. C mentioned earlier that it's like the genre that film club does not forgive is
bad rom-com.
Bad rom-com.
Oh.
And that's possible. I'll just say for this one, see, I think maybe sometimes we forget where Nollywood is. Because for our actual level, not where we should be, based on where we are, it's fine. Based on where we are, it was fine. It was one of the less offensive things we've seen in a bit. But that's what it was. It was there, right? It had a bunch of problems like all of our films do. But it was just there. I think, yeah, but I understand being harder on stuff like rom-coms because you're not trying to do action sequences. You're not trying to do, car flips and explosions. It's like, just give me some romance. Like, just do it. Put it down. Give it to me. Why is that so hard? So I get why, we're harder on those ones, but it's just there. And I didn't get a chance to cook the wedding dresses. Those dresses were not nice. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. I think I don't think just for our very low standard, like Mr. C said, I don't think this is particularly bad for where we are. It is very derivative. It's very paint by numbers. But like I said, there's a lot of strength in like essentially copying almost, because like even having a good structure, first act, second act, third act, we don't have. So like there's a lot of things this does get right and this does do well. There's a long way to go, obviously. I guess this I don't know how to feel about this because like this is on one hand Dr. Sid's first attempt, but like really so much work is done by what I think is what would have been the original script. So I don't know how much credit to give. I think there's at least the way it's shot and the way it's executed, the pre-production put in the work. But I'm not particularly. Yeah, I wasn't big on this one. I'm with Elizabeth that I did find it mostly boring because of how incredibly paint by numbers it is. But yeah, boring does not mean necessarily bad. It just means it's unspecial for the most part. So, but yeah, I can imagine there are some people who would enjoy this. But I could barely keep my attention really. But yeah, anyway, thanks guys. It feels like I punished some people today doing this, but I didn't. I wasn't expecting this one. Let me not lie, but maybe I
start expecting it.
maybe I should expecting it.
But I expect you to be cooked like it was,
well,
and it was cooked.
we'll put poll so that somebody can get the cooking for whatever you guys
but
don't
you
like
get cooked
next
for
week.
choosing the films on the poll.
Okay. No, nobody stop giving them ideas.
I mean, I'm just for warning you. Don't be caught
But
on our
it's true. But it's true.
Good. Yeah, I'm giving them ideas because, like, I was going to anyway. But we'll see what we're doing next Sunday. We do this every Sunday, 6 p.m. What? Let's see what next Sunday holds for us. But I think the Sunday after that we do have Ileo, which I'm looking forward to. Like, if nothing else, that's going to be like a proper that's not going to be. We're not going to be saying paint by numbers. We're not going to, whether you like it or don't like it. I think you have things to say. You have things to say about it. No, I'm not promising anybody to like it though. Hey, I didn't say it though. But like, there's actually somebody's idea, somebody's art is in there, for better or worse. So, but thanks everybody for joining us today. We'll see you next week Sunday. And until then, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at IrokoCritic and join us every Sunday, 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.